What's up, and welcome to episode 12 of the Q podcast with very special guests and my duo, Storybook Amusement. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I am an open book today. Oh, that was really corny.
Wow.
That was really corny, but
I
we're
did
going
not
with
expect that. That is not scripted. Just wow. Yeah, before we get a chance to get to know you a little bit better, let me tell you the premise of the show is as if we are in a hypothetical queue line waiting to ride your favorite attraction. And while we wait, we just have a simple conversation as friends. Yeah?
That's right.
All right. Well, with that being said, and I probably already know the answer, what is your favorite ride?
Oh, you already know the answer? Because I don't know if I know the answer. I
Oh
knew
my
you were going to
goodness.
ask this. I've been
It's just
battling
like
with it.
nobody ever knows. It's like only like 2 people have ever known.
I mean, like, the fate of the universe on the line, and I only had to ride one more ride.
What is your favorite ride? Period. Like we're waiting in line for your favorite attraction.
Making it way too complicated over here.
No, you're not, because everybody does. Only Destination Thrills and I think Airtime Mike are the only 2 people. And I think Marcus Q were the only people that knew the answer right away. So everybody else, the majority, has not.
Man, I'm in the majority then. So
yes.
I would be inclined to say Fury 325, but
I am super shocked. Wow. Okay.
But
yes.
I'm inclined to lean toward Hagrid because that's an indoor queue, and we're just chilling, having a nice conversation, not in the blazing hot South Carolina, North Carolina sun.
I thought it was going to be E.T.
Oh, that's a
I
good
literally
one.
thought it was going to be E.T. So
I mean, this is more of a coaster-focused channel.
it depends on the guest. Some people are super into coasters. That's why if for anybody out there, if you pay attention to when I ask what is your favorite ride or what is your favorite coaster, it's always depending on is their focus. So for you, I said favorite ride because I thought it was going to be E.T. So I apologize for assuming.
No, I'm glad I made E.T. my personality.
I love it's my favorite ride at Universal, and but we'll get into that really quick. So the reason why I'm talking to a pulsing logo right now, for those watching on YouTube, for those listening on audio, you're perfectly fine. He has the speaking voice of a god. It's all good. But but for those watching on YouTube right now, yeah, it's different because of course the mystery behind the man. I know what he looks like, but you guys still have to wonder and just listen to his amazing historical theme park documentary. So that's what that's all about.
I'll just say right now, once I get to 1,000, you guys will know what I look like.
Ooh,
1,000 subs.
Of course. let's get them there, which are very, very close, and we're gonna get into in a second because I'm super impressed with your growth, and it's truly tremendous. So this podcast I'm very happy about because, as I mentioned, we'll get into, is I love your content and your smaller channel. Like, I'm not a big channel, but your smaller channel that's growing. And it's kind of like how, for me, I had Brother Tim on here, which he's the only person who's been on here twice so far. But and it's so weird. His second episode's the biggest one so far of the Q podcast. But when I first found him, he had 200 something subscribers, and now he's like well over 1,000. Like after that podcast, not because of me, but I'm saying like it just like his growth. That's why I had to have him back, because he had like tremendous growth since then. So, but yeah, this is like super exciting because I love your content and I love what you do, and I'm glad I could have you on here, kind of like at your beginning stages, and just can't wait to see you like prosper and grow. So yeah, I'm glad to have you on here.
Appreciate you for having me. I just want to backpedal a little bit. I wasn't trying to plug and be totally cheesy about it. No, I really appreciate you for having me.
This is all about you. This is all you can
plug. There are 2 of us
well,
in line.
Yeah, that's true. But within moderation, you can kind of plug, you got your socials on the screen for those watching on YouTube. Also, on audio platforms, they'll be listed in the description down below, as well as on YouTube. But I forgot to add your Facebook on there, but it's Storybook Amusement as well. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
well, I'll mention that again at the end.
Yep. We just get into the conversation. Forget all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just a little introduction because this one's a little bit different. So that's why we spent a little bit of time on the pulsing logo thing for those that are wondering, like, who's behind it. Get to 1,000 subscribers and then you guys will find out. But diving right into it, though, it's interesting because if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just going to ask, what is your home park?
Okay, so I live in Atlanta. So I would consider my home park to be Six Flags Over Georgia. It's the closest one. But I haven't even been there since 2019. So, and I had passes for all of 2020.
So you ended up doing the whole cancellation thing, or like what's going on with that?
Just never ended up going. So I still have them for this year too.
Okay.
But like we were talking about before we got on, I got 2 weeks before I'm fully vaccinated. I'll be back.
Right. Okay. So what is was that your last park visit period? Was 2019? Obviously you didn't go in 2020. I know you love Universal, which we'll talk about. You haven't been to any park since 2019.
I went to Universal in fall 2020. So I went to the HHN Light that they had.
I knew it. I knew you made some type of commute there. I don't know why I knew that, but yeah.
Yeah, I just had to.
Of course, and I'm not mad at you about that. How did that? Okay, you love Universal so much, as do I. And a little backstory on me, for people who've obviously watched and listened to the Q podcast. I am a diehard fan of Universal Studios. I grew up like down the street from there. That was my home park, growing up in Florida, and it's hits home. And to find somebody else who's equally as passionate, which I don't even talk about it a lot, which is very weird. Which I'm going to start doing more. But how did that start out with you? Like, so did you grow up in Atlanta and then you were just fascinated with Universal because it's not that far away? Like, how did this all come about with your fixation with Universal? Yeah.
So we actually have a similar story. I grew up in the Orlando area.
Oh, wow.
Lived there until about early high school.
Yep.
And that's when we moved up to Atlanta. Man, we're like right on the same timeline.
Yeah. To me, it's up to like after sophomore year of high school. So my sophomore year, I was in Florida still. But then junior year, I moved here. And then, yeah. So, wow. Interesting. So this has been a while now that you've been loving Universal. What is your favorite? So you do remember the old rides of the past. This isn't just
definitely.
Okay, all right. What's your favorite one of the past, and not ET, because ET obviously is still there.
There.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, all that growing up. So I have 90s, early 2000s nostalgia, I guess.
Yes.
That's such an overused word. But
no, it's fine. It's coming like full circle now. Like nostalgia is like a heavily used word right now because like so many things are coming back of the past. So crazy.
I know. They're like every reboot you can imagine. So
yes,
as far as old attraction goes at Universal, I'm gonna cheat. I guess I'll do two of them. Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
Over at Islands of Adventure. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't get enough of Dueling Dragons.
I only rode it once.
Oh, which was it? Dragon Challenge at that point, or
no? It was Dueling Dragons.
Did you ride only one side or both sides?
One side.
Do you remember which one?
I do not remember, to be honest with you. I just remember that day. That was wow. This is actually recently, in a way. This was 2008 or 9. That was my first time riding like intense roller coasters. That the Hulk and all that. I never was a roller coaster person, and I mentioned this in the queue before in a previous episode briefly about that's kind of how I got into roller coasters. Like my first ever roller coaster was Woody Woodpecker,
Nice.
and I'm pretty sure you've ridden that as well.
Yeah.
It has a little kick to it, though. I'm not gonna lie, it has a little zing to it. But that was my first, and I wasn't really into them because like my family was afraid of them, and they had that fear. It's not for everybody, and I was just tired of being afraid. I was like, I need to be strong. If I can overcome this, I can overcome anything in life. Let me just do this. Let me get Hulk for first row. So I did it. I did Dueling Dragons. I don't remember what side. First row, like a front row, and it was everything. It was so crazy. Like just remembering the feeling of course, the sequence. Where's the camera? Oh, okay. The sequence where like you're about to hit, and then you do the loop. And then obviously they stopped doing that with like later on because people were throwing things at each other. But yeah, not about me. But that's how I became into it. I've only ridden it once, but yes, that was your favorite.
Yeah, as far as Islands of Adventure goes,
yes,
so many people have that coming of age story of like, for some reason, the Hulk is like a lot of people's first really intense coaster. I guess it's just a really popular park that a lot of people go to.
It's intense, but it's not like super, super crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
But I mean that launch, like it's just beautiful, like, and it's so scenic. It's so iconic to me. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it just everyone has that connection, that early connection of Hulk. It seems like it's pretty cool. We all have that shared memory.
That's true. So as far as Universal,
it's hands down Confrontation. Did you ever ride that one?
Of course. So every single thing in Universal. I didn't really like Islands of Adventure. Obviously, it came about later, but I didn't love Islands because of also what the issue was. Period, was that it was mainly for thrill seekers. It was more adult-like when it came about. And I was still young when it opened. What was it, 99?
Yep.
So I was 9 years old, or 8, depending on when the actual month. I don't recall.
July. I think.
Yeah, so I believe it was June or July. I think July.
Oh, you might be right. Whatever. Summer.
Yeah, but anyway, it's summer. So I was 8 at the time. I wasn't into all that. I still think it's a beautiful park, and the theming is tremendous still to this day. But I wasn't into it because of the rides. But Universal, obviously from the 90s, I was born in 90. The park is only, 4 months older than me. So we literally grew up together. And I remember all the stuff of the whole parking situation, the whole city walk, like coming to life, all that stuff. I remember all that. And Confrontation was always a must do. You had like if people could go back, obviously you make videos, other people make documentary videos, and just see POVs. But to actually see it in person, to see the scale of that ride and the story, you cannot beat that. Like, it'll never be redone, and it's sad. It's super, super sad.
Yeah, exactly. There have been so many times where I try to watch the Confrontation POV again, and obviously, like, cameras weren't that great back then.
No, they were so grainy and bad. Yeah,
and it's like really dark. Like the corners aren't really elaborate or articulate in the video or anything. But just to be in that vehicle and you're like 30 or 40 feet off the ground or whatever, you can't get that feeling looking at the video. Like
just think about how high you are and just the scale of that showroom to house everything. And I just remember looking into the different like apartments on the side in the ride and seeing like little silhouettes and different things. And I'm just like, there's a story behind that. There's like, what is that person up to? Like, there's so many things that as a kid, I just loved. And that's why I love theme parks I love theming more than like the amusement side. So yeah. Wow,
gotcha.
That's pretty cool. And I remember like vividly how hot the flames were like on Jaws.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like never. I wouldn't like to sit too close to the side in that, and it's just I remember my last ride on what was it, Earthquake. Still such an iconic ride. It's just so sad. They're just so screen based now. I like
Yeah,
them, but
well,
it's just so bad. It's
I
sad, rather.
totally. For
Mhm.
going back to the sets, it just feels lived in, and that's the cool part about it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that much detail to it. And
hmm
really quick, I don't want to go too much on confrontation,
yeah.
but that set they actually used it for Halloween Horror Nights a few years. There were mazes, depending on the year, there were mazes and scare zones in the New
Wow,
York set on
I did not
confrontation. So
know that.
people
Wait,
are
no, I did not know that. Nope.
it's
No.
just
Wow.
crazy. People are walking on the ground floor. One year, I don't know if you've ever been to Halloween Horror Nights, but they used to do
hmm
this scare zone all the time
hmm
with bubbles. And they did it a few different years. And
Yeah.
one of the years was in confrontation, just like this super phone party
Yeah.
on the ground level of confrontation. I wish I could have experienced that. That sounds beautiful.
Oh, that's sad you didn't get to. I thought for sure you would
No.
have. Oh, okay. All right. So, what is your thoughts about Halloween Horror Nights? Some people are for it. A lot of people are for it, and they're super hyped that
Mhm.
it's coming back. And then some are just like, I'm good. I'm good. It's not for me. I don't like the scariness. What's your whole thoughts behind Halloween Horror Nights?
So I went one time as a kid in 2002, which is like apparently the most iconic and most remembered year. Like
Mm,
it was the first time it was in Islands of Adventure, and there are all these like crazy
yeah,
stories
it
of the
expanded.
superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I never went back since, and just as an adult, it never really appealed to me. Even though I like horror movies
Wow.
and everything, it just never appealed to me. Like I don't know, maybe it's because I don't drink, so like it's I don't want to paint a bad picture about Halloween Horror Nights, but
I understand.
it's known for serving alcohol and people just
Yes.
having a good time.
Yeah,
And
right.
I'm not putting anyone down for that.
Of
It
course, of
sounds
course.
fun for those people, but it just didn't appeal to me
Of course.
particularly.
Mhm.
But then when Stranger Things and all that came
So
a few
good,
years
yeah.
ago,
Mhm.
I had to hit it up.
Yeah.
And I've gone ever since. That's only 3 years, one of them being HHN Light. But I love
Right.
it. And I'm looking
Uh,
forward to this year.
yeah, I was about to say, are you hyped about it coming back? Even if like so for me, I'm not into like the whole haunted houses type thing, scare mazes.
Mhm.
I don't mind. I just don't. So I like being a passive
Okay.
viewer in the sense of like not being active. So active, obviously, I'm going through it. It's me. But the whole passive thing, I can watch a scary movie all day. Love them. Um, and I can even play scary video games.
Mhm.
So the ones that get me are the first person ones because I'm more active in that sense because it's first person. But I love the ambiance and the atmosphere of Horror Nights, Fright Fest for Six Flags, different things like that. But
Mhm.
it's the mazes which I'll do. Um, but I'm not a big person like I'm going solo and I'm gonna go through it by myself type of thing. That's just me.
Gotcha.
That's just me. I've never been into it. It's like I don't get it. So people are gonna be like, "Why, Miguel? Hey, you love it. It's not my favorite thing. I don't mind. I will go through it. I even have a POV of one at Six Flags on my channel, but I don't know. It's just not my forte. So I don't know. But I'm excited though. It's coming back this year. I will be there at some point.
Sweet.
We'll see. Hopefully, you make it out there.
Yeah, definitely have plans sometime in
Ooh.
September, probably.
Okay. Speaking of plans, what are your trip plans, your theme park trip plans, especially after, getting the vaccine and you feel comfortable with traveling and whatnot? What are your trip plans for this year? Do you have a Carowinds trip in mind?
Oh, because of Fury 325. I wish. So actually, I was gonna go for my birthday for Carowinds,
Hmm.
um, but it's not open.
Yeah, that would
So
affect things.
it They're one of the last ones to open. It seems like they're
They
opening in
only
about a month.
opened for the food and whatever festival thing for the holidays, and then they shut back down again.
Gotcha. So yeah, I hope to get out there sometime again.
Hmm.
That and Dollywood.
Oh
But
yeah,
the only set plans I have are going to go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg for the first time
same. Yeah, it'll
in
be
a
my first.
month. For real? When are you going?
I have no set plans. I just want
Okay,
to make it this summer.
gotcha. Yeah,
But
I'm
you
going
have
and
set plans. Okay, nice.
I'll be there for the first time. And just,
Oh.
I know it's there, but just looking at the list of coasters again,
Hmm.
I'm just
Hmm.
so hyped. They have
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, they
It
definitely do.
sounds weird, but I'm most excited for Loch Ness Monster.
Nothing's wrong with that at all. At all. I actually am very hyped to get on that. All the coasters that they have, just experiencing the park in general, because what it's always voted the most like beautiful, clean, put together theme park or whatever. Like each year it wins that.
Like that and
Um,
Silver Dollar City are right
yes.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Any other trip plans?
Really, that's it. The other ones are just kind of fuzzy. Maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that.
Okay, yeah, nothing's wrong with that. Besides, you have the Universal possible Halloween Horror Night September goals, but that's a little bit away.
Yeah.
No, I'm shocked you're not like all right, I got to do once a month or once every 2 months Universal trip. I have to do it.
No, that'd be absurd. Really, so I'm this way with like movies and stuff too. I don't
Hmm.
like to do the things I love too much to like lose
Mm,
that buzz. Like my
okay,
favorite movies, I you would think, watch it every
you
year
don't watch
or
them, no?
so.
Yeah,
No, like okay, we'll go back to E.T. for example. I've only
yeah,
seen that like 3 or 4 times in my life.
same. I mean, it's
Okay.
not a movie you're gonna binge watch every weekend. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's
Oh
not.
man, if uh if my buddy on Twitter, no context ET, is listening,
Yes.
I'm not endorsing what Miguel just said.
I'm
Oh my
just,
goodness.
I said it. It's fine. He's not
This is
disagreeing, but I said it. So that's fine.
he said it. No context ET. I did not say it.
Yeah, right. ET's my absolute favorite though, for sure. Right there at Universal, and it I know it has no plans to leave because of Spielberg, his whole
Mhm.
thing. But I'm by the way, can we talk about his impact on that park? Like from the origin?
That's true.
Like every ride, including like some Islands of Adventure stuff. So you're looking at like
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park. Like everything was his, pretty
And
much.
with that too, you walk around the park, it's all John Williams.
Yeah.
Like all the
Yes.
music is especially now with Harry Potter there. There's so much John
Yeah.
Williams.
It's that man, the genius behind his like music and his just putting it together is insane. It's insane. It really is. Um, Speaking of like ET and Harry Potter, so you kind of killed that like myth on the whole Harry
ET.
Potter thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why did you do it? People were
I
people were happy about it, even though some
okay.
people didn't know.
Here's the thing. I feel bad about this. I perpetrated that rumor.
Okay.
So what
Jeez.
happened? What happened is there's a behind the scenes tour on the Mummy ride at Universal, and
Is that still a thing
I'm
or
not sure.
pre-pandemic? Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, definitely. I only did it like 2 years ago
Oh,
or
you did.
something.
Oh my goodness.
All you have to do is on a. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, 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 no. Please go.
Um,
I
just on a moderate or slow day, go up to the person at the front and ask for the behind the scenes tour. I can't remember the exact name of it, if it's the
is there
backstage tour or whatever.
is there upcharge?
No, that and Men in Black. I think there are a few others you could do this with. Um, yeah, you just go up to the front and ask for behind the scenes tour, and they give it to you. Well, usually, like what happened with this one, um, they say come back in like 20 or 30 minutes. We'll be
Hmm.
able to do it. I think they just kind of wait for a group to pile up
Okay.
to so that they could dedicate a team member to it and it's worth their while, you know. But anyway, we're doing the behind the scenes tour on the Mummy, and just kind of in between as we're walking around, he's getting to know us, like, hey, what's your favorite ride? I'm like, oh my gosh, I love ET, freaking out like a dork. And he's like, oh, by the way, I was on ET the other day. And right before the scene where you fly over the city, if you look down, Harry Potter's there. And I'm like, what? And this is coming from a team member, so it's like halfway an official source. It's not Universal themselves saying it, it's a team member, so he's in the know, he knows people. And you go there, and at a first glance, it's a wand he has in his hand. I'm like, my goodness, he was right. E.T. and Harry Potter, it's canon.
Wow.
But turns out I put out a video about the details of E.T., like what has changed since opening day. Team member commented on that. They were like, hey, that's a rumor. Some mommy blog started that rumor. And I'm like, first off, am I the mommy blog? I don't know. That's a rumor, and it's definitely a radio. And so I took down the video. Yeah. And made an updated video. And someone actually, some like radio enthusiast or someone, if you're listening, I'm not making fun of you by saying that. I think it's really cool. On Instagram, they sent me like slow-mo videos and super zoomed in shots of this radio. And they
was it clear?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's not like a super high quality picture. I didn't have it in the time I was making the video. But it's clearly a radio. Like a walkie-talkie.
Interesting.
Man, I just went off for like 10 minutes.
It makes sense. Like, is that character still there? I don't recall. Or is he kind of hidden in the bushes or something?
It's not a focal point, but it's still there. When you're going up over the so you're exiting the forest scene and you're about to go over the city. You go over some rocks in a little mountain area. Down and to the left, there's this little dude. He's probably about 3 feet tall.
It's so weird that he's placed there, by the way, just in general, because like people don't see him.
Right. That goes back to what we were talking about with the sets just being so intricate. And there's so many, like, what's the story behind that guy? There's so many little things to nitpick about.
You know what's so beautiful about that ride too, really quick, before we move on?
Yes, I do. Everything,
yes, but I love how we all have this one thing in common. You can just post about it on Instagram or just say it, and people get it. The Q smell. So, by the way, even though we're not in that queue, we're still gonna say the smell of this podcast is the ET's Q line, because I mean it's just so iconic. I know there's candles out there, and I really want to get a candle that smells like that. I just think that would be cool. I don't know, that could be me. I mean, if there's candles out there, that means there must be other people interested, and I'm one of those. So
definitely, I have 2 of them on my desk.
Oh my goodness!
From the 2 different brands who make it.
Please, it's been a while since I found the brand, so let me know after this what those brands are, so I can make that happen to put this on my desk.
I'll just say it for anyone who's listening and is interested. The one that's like, none of them are 100% accurate, in my opinion. The one that is like 90% accurate and closest as possible.
And this is not a sponsor.
No,
correct. Parksense.com. Yeah, I was going to say this is not a sponsorship. This is no affiliation. Just throwing that out there. But parksense.com.
Yep, that's the one I would personally recommend, not sponsored.
Okay. Wow. For those out there, please, if you know about it, then you know about it. If you don't, then I'm so sorry. It smells so amazing. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
Opposed to certain parks that I'm not going to put a name on, but maybe the ride's a little bit too close to the trash receptacle or something, and the Q smell is not preferred. I'm not going to put any names out there.
Say it. Put a name to it.
I'm not gonna. No, we're not.
Okay. All right. Moving forward, we can talk Universal like all day. Well, one more thing about Universal. With some of these rides, they're getting really slow because if we talk about Universal Studios Japan, the whole Nintendo World thing, some of those rides are really slow.
Yeah, well, Alicia
Like the Yoshi
Stella,
one. Yeah. Super
again,
huge fan. Yes.
yeah, she brought up a great point. She made the connection that the three rides that are there, the third one being the one that's gonna come in Donkey Kong,
Oh,
they
yes.
all are like at an intensity level
Mhm.
that corresponds with the gameplay. So like Yoshi is for little kids
Mhm.
usually, so that's
Mhm.
super slow baby
Yeah.
ride pretty
Yes.
much.
Mhm.
Um, Mario Kart
Then
is the family ride, so it
and
has
then
like
yeah.
intense
Mhm.
elements, but it's still physically so like grandma can get on it. And then
Right.
Donkey Kong's for like older kids, so it's gonna be like a moderate older kid ride.
So is Donkey Kong going to be like a coaster?
You know, I'm not the person to talk to about that. I'm not.
I
From what I understand, it's that
because I know
it's that
originally it
coaster
was
that's not a
supposed
coaster.
right, but early on, I know there was the whole speculation that it's going to have the whole extended like two-track thing because obviously like obvious I think we're it's still going to be the minecart based thing.
Mhm.
So obviously there's mine train coasters out there, but they're going to take it a huge step further with different technology like aspects to it. Um I'm I'm still curious on the new like rumors on it. I guess I could watch Alicia Stella to kind of figure that out. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm on these topics of the things that have yet to happen, I will defer. I'm more so on the side of the things that already happened, particularly happened 20 years ago.
So you're not about the speculation anymore after making that Harry Potter type video with ET. You're kind of like I'm done.
I jumped to a conclusion.
Okay. Even though I do a whole lot of speculation and like nostalgic past history things, the
Mhm.
speculation I like to do because I like to defend, like make a case, like a court case, and say, hey, these are the facts. This is the evidence. This could happen, but people have fun, so that's all that matters.
But the example I think of is the one that you put out recently where like I can't remember the exact word, but like Twisted was green in
Yes,
the
the
Mindbender
VR one. That's
advertisement.
exactly. I literally made a whole video off of one word that was highlighted in green. I made a whole
Yeah.
video off of that. That's
And
how my mind works.
so I'll defend you and say like if it happens, everyone
Then
can say Miguel was right. But if it doesn't happen, everyone's like, he
Would
just
agree.
read in between the lines a little bit too much. And maybe he was halfway kidding when he did it.
Okay, I was 100% kidding. But also, if you watch the video, check out the video. If you have not, I will put this in the link in the description down below for all forms of this podcast.
Context.
Yes, for context, that the what I did in that video, again, check it out if you haven't, was they put like the world's first triple looping coaster in Mindbender is getting a new
Which that was
twist.
a stretch back in the 70s, but keep going.
True. There's so much with that. But getting a new twist, and then that's highlighted in green, just that end part. So I'm like, nobody else is talking about this. Like, that's like putting emphasis on something,
Hmm.
even though it's just basically the third loop. It got retracked. That's really what it is, guys. So just to debunk that, kill that myth. Um, but and also about the whole area. So again, watch the video. But what I did a connection was via I don't even know how I went that far. No, I know. In a live stream, somebody mentioned something about VR, and I was like, "No, that'll never." Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Could this be because they did have Shockwave, which was the same year? It's a Schwarzkopf looping coaster. It's its counterpart, same year, all that stuff. That hit VR. I know we're in a pandemic, but let me just table this, put this to the side, put this on ice, and let me dig into this later. Then I did. Then I just found how I work is I will find a connection with something, I'm just let's type in some things and let's go down the rabbit hole of trying to find content. Let's reach a bit. So I found something with VR in connection to that, and they said the words unveiling a new twist. And I said, okay, that's all I need. I'm done. I got it from here. It doesn't even have to make sense, but I will connect the dots and make you guys believe it. And I did. I believe I did. I did a good job because they said unveil a new twist. That's the same slogan thing that they said with Mindbender. I'm like, it could happen. Then with Shockwave and then this, it could happen. I at the end say this will never happen, but some people believe that I could be right, but I don't believe it. So that was the long-winded version of that. Please check out the video. Again, I see why you don't do speculation videos, but I find them fun as long as you can make a argument and defend with evidence. I always put it at the beginning and the end. This is for fun. Don't take this too serious, but I'm going to make you believe that it could happen. Yeah, so that's cool. Speaking of content, though, what made you start your YouTube channel, and also in this category that you are in, that there's still not a lot of, I'm going to say us, because I do them as well. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of us in this space of this genre. It's a nice little niche of theme park content. So what made you get into this? And also, I would like for you to describe what this genre is. It's pretty simple, but I just want to hear it from you.
All right, so why I started, I don't know. I used to watch 1,000 hours of YouTube every week. Not really.
I was like, do you check your analytics on that?
You can.
Yes, you do. I know you can, but
it's a little too unhealthy sometimes to see like, oh shoot. But yeah, back a year, 2 years ago, just watching way too much YouTube.
Okay.
And then I don't know, just getting the sense of I could do that. I could do that.
I love that feeling. Yeah.
So when I started my channel, it was called Theme Studios for anyone who doesn't know. It was completely like a totally different brand. Mm-hmm. And I picked that name because it was like the least descriptive name. It's like, I'm going to talk about theme parks, but I don't really know what about. So I just kind of put out random videos of different topics.
Mm-hmm. And none of them are on your channel, right? Still? There's
one Theme Studios video on there still, but it's in the style of a Storybook Amusement video, like a very early Storybook Amusement video.
Okay.
So it's the earliest posted video. But all the other Theme Studios, those are taken down. So like only my first like 50 subscribers got the
at 1,000 subscribers. Each 1,000 subscriber like milestone, there may be one more that comes back to life. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I understand.
They were not great. But anyway, yeah, I really liked the documentary style. So to touch on that, the genre, I guess you could call them theme park documentaries.
Yes, I mean, it was so simple, but I just wanted to hear you describe it. Yes, go ahead.
So I found out I liked, like, as I was making videos and throwing stuff at the wall, I liked that style most. And it was also the one, like, if certain people in my life ever found my channel, I would be least embarrassed if they came across that content rather than like me yelling at a camera.
Yes.
Or whatever I was doing.
Right.
Anyway, so also there are a few channels that do these theme park documentaries, and some of them are like really good. I cannot miss an episode of these. I have to watch them on the TV, set aside 30 minutes.
Same.
No interruptions. They are so good. But also some of these channels haven't talked about either my favorite rides or some of these like little known tidbits.
That's true.
That I've heard about. They might know about these things. I'm not saying they're oblivious to it.
Correct.
But they've just decided not to cover it. Right. And I wanted to put these stories out there for people who are interested. That's all it is.
Okay.
Just topics that I'm interested in, other people might be interested in. Here's a format you might like.
So how did you come about the name change in Storybook Amusement, which I think it's amazing. It works. And also the logo is spot on.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So first I'll plug the logo is done
Yes.
by New Studios. That is my brother. He is an Atlanta-based artist. He does printmaking. So
Oh, I didn't
he
know.
makes
Wow. Yeah.
t-shirts, wood carvings, prints
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. So newstudios.com is
Yep.
where you can find him and his
It'll be
work.
in the link in the description down below. Great work. I've checked it out. Yep.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the name goes, it came when like, okay, so I made Theme Studios kind of nondescript.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, okay, I need to up my quality is kind of
Right.
where the change to Storybook Amusement came in. I'm like, I need my channel's not that great. Need to up the quality.
Yes.
And do you really want to know about the story of when I was in the shower and came up with the name, or we could skip over that?
You can skip. We can skip it. I mean, that is the story. You were in the shower and you came up with the name. That I
That's
guess
it.
that the summed up
Yeah.
version. That's kind of like me. I was half asleep. I was dozing and I was falling asleep and I was like, nobody has annual pass holder. It's so basic, but nobody has it. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm not tied into anything. And then it didn't hit off the way I want it to. This is for anybody who hasn't heard this story. And then later on, like when I would do a video, I would say, "Hey, this is Miguel the Annual Passholder," but my name was just Annual Passholder. But when I did a video, I would introduce myself with my name. So I just ended up just adding Miguel to it, even though my name's Kevin. Just playing. No, it's
You got me for a second.
no,
What?
no. You know this. We've talked. Like I'm not gonna be like, hey, my name's Miguel, and then hey, your name is, which I know what it is.
Oh, wait, hold up. We could say it. People who know me on Twitter know my name.
I
So
mean,
I want to be
if
personal.
they haven't seen you, then I
They
mean,
could
if
know
you
my
it's
name. There's
if
a guy
you
behind all this. My name's
there,
Matt. What's up,
okay,
everyone?
yes. Well, there you
45
go.
minutes. 45 minutes into this podcast, you guys know my name. I meant to say
It's
that
a
at the beginning. I forgot.
it's a breakthrough. What is your process as far as making videos? How long does it take you to find your topic?
Mm-hmm.
And then also the process of making the video itself.
So the first few topics I did are just like things I know about, like Cat in the
Correct.
Hat spinning, and go look that up. The Grinch, and there are like a ton of other topics of that nature that I have out there.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the topics I find like searching obscure Reddit forums and stuff.
I knew you hit up Reddit for stuff because like there's things that I've never heard about,
Uh-huh.
like that you had to have found some type of forum or platform that people are discussing stuff. I'm like, hey, you know what? With this and this used to be, and there's concept art and there's articles on this, and I'm like, he must know something I don't know in regards because like you're coming up with stuff like your last one, which was really good. Check it out. It'll be linked in the description down below as well. My favorite one of yours was the Grinch one. Would have loved for that to have come about and happen. I didn't know about that. Uh, yeah, you found these things.
Yeah, that Grinch one's been a rumor flying around for a while.
I just didn't know.
It's unfortunate that hasn't come to fruition. Seuss
Yep,
Landing needs some help. But
it
okay.
does. Yeah. Sorry, but go ahead.
I want, yeah, I don't like bashing the parks. Don't like bashing the parks. All
Oh no,
positivity.
me neither. I'll be truthful, but I won't go in and just like destroy them. But yes,
So after I get the topic, obviously there's that research portion. So I'll like, really it's just reading. I'm making notes as I go along, but reading that. First off, I want to say I don't watch any videos on the topics I do because I don't want to overlap with someone
correct.
took a certain angle
Yes,
or they said
same
certain
here.
words or described something in a certain way. I don't want to repeat that, so I don't even watch them.
Same.
I might look at their resources and see what they used just to give me a lead, just
I
to
don't
help me
even do
out.
that. I don't
Okay,
want anything connection with what they did
I
at all.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's commendable too
Mm.
that you do that.
Yep, because I want to make it my own for some reason, even though it's like, I don't know, my angle, my perspective. There's different viewpoints always with the same topic. So that's why if you see somebody do in this genre, if
Mhm.
you see somebody do something that you're interested in, don't shy away from doing it just because they did it and it might
Right.
have done well.
Yep, exactly. But
Hmm.
so yeah, just start collecting information, making a few notes, and that part takes forever. It could be a few weeks.
Oh,
Just kind of like I'll have a few different projects going at one time. Like right now,
okay.
I currently have a few. So my process: do the research, as I just said,
Hmm.
have multiple projects going on at one time, gathering information, and just understanding the full story.
Hmm.
I use different resources such as old forums. Like if it's a ride that was built 20 years ago, there were people online in 2001 talking about it, talking about
Right.
construction. And
Yeah.
so sometimes they post pictures, sometimes they just post different information. This guy knows this thing, and go look up that guy, and he has a full article about it. Stuff
Wow.
like that.
Hmm.
Finding little internet rabbit trails and rabbit
Yep.
holes.
Yep.
There's some books out there available
Yep.
of attraction history, and that's probably the best and most reliable source that's out there.
I
News
do things
articles.
so difficult.
What do you mean? What do you do?
I don't know. I love it, but I just literally anything out there that's ever almost ever happened is on the internet in some form of capacity. It's been
Hmm.
transferred and put on there. I just dig and I find it. And again, I'll get something, dig on it, and then there'll be a word or a phrase or something that draws my attention. Then I take that and dig this way, another way, and then I keep digging until I keep getting what I need. And once you get it underway, eventually it'll start getting a little smoother.
Hmm.
Um, and you find all the sources, all the material, what you need to write the script. For me, at the beginning, when I first started doing like that theme park documentary stuff, I
Hmm.
would write everything out, including my actual videos, other stuff. So this was mainly last year. Even though I've been doing YouTube for 2 years, I really started, I would say, February last year.
Wow.
Um, and because I did vlogs and other stuff, but like doing real good content, I did it right before the pandemic happened, and then for sure during the pandemic, I would write everything down, and I have terrible handwriting, and I would be like, so Universal Disney, Universal, what? And so I would write everything down, and then I started using Word, and I would type it. I'm like, this is easier. Like I can write out a script. Like I would have notebooks of just stuff. Then I would have to cut me turning the pages because you would hear that paper sound. So early on, guys, that stuff was being written like I off of paper.
Hmm.
Like that's crazy. But yes, so for me to answer that, I will take minimum 2 days to do research. And then the third day is to write the script. Then after that, it would be the next day would be to record. The following day's edit, and then the next day is post. So
You have like
it's
a full schedule going on.
yes, I make that happen. I've never obviously worked with anybody else on that level, and like, or I never show anybody my script. I never show anybody my work, but like, you got to see the process beforehand, how I label, how
Mhm.
I categorize things, and I saw yours, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. You can, learn and just off of each other. So you had the idea that you wanted to do, and I was like, hey, I'm down with that. I was never, I've been trying to move past uh,
Six
this
Flags.
Six Flags stuff that I got caught up into. I love Universal. I love all this other stuff. So this is a good thing. And I never really dug into. I love Dollywood, uh, but I never really dug into history stuff of it, and I did, and I fell in love with it, and I'm glad that I did this with you so I could show myself
Mhm.
that I can do these type of videos, but also talk about different things and it be very well received. So I'm
Yeah.
thankful to you that I wanted to work with you on that, and I think our both videos are doing quite well. They're very solid, at least on both channels, and I love them.
Yeah, appreciate that. For anyone, I don't know if we mentioned it, for anyone listening at home or in your car, wherever, videos
Yes.
we're talking about
Oh
are
yeah, we didn't mention
Miguel.
it.
Miguel did, oh my gosh, the name's escape. Blazing
Blazing
Fury
Fury at Dollywood.
at, yep, and I did Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City, which
Yep.
obviously are sister attractions,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
did a little
Uh,
mini series on that.
Again, I'll put those in the link in the description down below as well. Check them out. I think they're very well done. I think they're very good. I enjoy them, but I'll definitely be doing more of these type of videos. And as you continue to, because you usually post yours on Fridays, right?
Yeah, you've caught on. Yeah,
I've
that's
caught
the
on.
day.
But I want to know, what is your favorite video that you ever made?
Me personally, okay,
Yes.
so when I said um, I wanted to make videos that of topics no one has talked about before, but then also people have talked about this topic, but every time I've watched the video, I'm like, oh, they forgot this. Oh, they didn't include this, and it
Hmm.
might be because I'm just such a big fan of this ride
Yes.
that I I just I had to write a love letter to it, and that is
Ooh.
Dueling Dragons.
Yes.
That is my favorite video. There's not much, if anything, I would change about that video right now.
Oh, good,
I love
good.
that one. It's just the topic in general. I
Right.
love that.
What's the most difficult video you've ever made on your channel?
It might be that. Um, it also might. I have a King Kong one about all the rides and the movies. That was my first real attempt at a like a documentary,
Yeah.
just recap of the ride,
Mhm.
telling the story of attractions and the history. So it might be that just because it was my first one and it was pretty overwhelming
Yeah.
to make that. So yeah,
I
it
think
might be that.
I understand that, because for me, just to talk about it for a second, my first one that I did, documentary video, was, man, it took so long and the outcome could have been better.
Mhm.
In the sense of this, it took so long and it was so tedious to find the information and to edit it. It was my very first one, but also of what it was about. There wasn't much information I had to find and dig. It was the Z-Force video.
Okay.
And that video took 3 weeks or so to make. Should have been out. My thing is, I pushed it. It was should have been out in a week.
It
Forced
never
myself.
happens though.
It did. It does now. I can do it now. At that time, I didn't hit my mark that I wanted to, because it was so difficult. The information, it was just so scattered, and trying to keep it organized and find different stuff, because there's not much information on that type of coaster, because that was the only one ever built. There
Mhm.
wasn't much footage on it. There wasn't much like many articles. So I had to find all that stuff in connections with different things. And I am super proud of that video, even though some quality aspects could be improved doing it now. But I think it's very good. And as far as the documentaries, it's my highest viewed one so far. And but I love it. Now, what makes me mad was I think I put it out on a Monday, but on Sunday, I think Theme Park Crazy and Airtime Thrills did a collab video together, which they're both
Yep.
big time as is. But now they did it together. They did a video on that topic together. My video should have been out at that point like 2 weeks before theirs. And then I ended up putting mine out the day after theirs.
But
And
that
that
could have helped your video.
But it
Um,
hurt because it hurt me because of who they were. Shout out to them, both
yeah.
fans and all that stuff. His work ethic, again, like I always talk about, is insane.
And it's
Um,
unintentional too.
Yes, yes.
It just happened to release the same time right
Yeah,
before yours did.
that happens. That happens. I've heard different
Yeah.
stories about that. That was unintentional for sure. But I got the alert. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been just killing myself
Slaving.
trying to make this video on this topic, and they just put it out, and I know it's gonna hit. I know it's gonna do well, and I just got so upset. But then my perspective is so different. Like on my
Mhm.
video, it has like 3 different topics that all literally merge into one lane. It's about Z-Force. It's about the past of how it came about, and from a different perspective of theirs. And even shout out to Sam Expedition Theme Park. He did his much later. His is
Mhm.
different than mine, but mine was different. I had to link mine back to Over Georgia fully, like have it come in full circle since they did theirs, and I
Yeah.
linked it to Ninja. How Z-Force led to the 2 worst coasters in Six Flags Over Georgia history, which is true. And I just made that connection, but that video was so hard to make, and took the longest. So, and then they put theirs out before mine the day before, so it's okay. It still
But
worked out, but I don't know.
that's the cool part, is that we can all coexist. Like you just said, there are 3 people or 3 different channels that posted this.
Yeah, the
With
same.
Expedition Theme Park Crazy, and Airtime Thrills collaborating.
Yeah, and then
The
myself.
yeah. So is that
Hmm.
4? I don't know.
No,
But
it's 4 people, but it's 3 videos because the 2 did the collab together on one, and then yeah. So Theme
and
Park Crazy and Airtime Thrills had 1 video. They put theirs out first. I put mine out second. Then Expedition Theme Park.
and you just said they all took a different perspective
Yeah, they're
on the
all
3
different.
different videos,
Hmm.
and that's the cool part. We could coexist and complete a full picture for the viewer.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter if there are multiple videos on a topic. Now, I mean, I don't really need to see another river country video. That topic's been done to death.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's yeah.
but on these other topics, I think it's valuable.
I agree. I agree. I just want for anything, whether it be a vlog or any type of video, I want
Mhm.
people to watch and watch for the creator and the different perspective that can be taken, rather
Mhm.
than hey, that person did it. I'm done. I'm good. I don't need to watch anymore. And then
Exactly.
that's the type of viewer that it gets difficult because it's one and done. It's who at that point it's whoever did it first. And that's where it becomes an issue. But if you're good and people love your stuff, then yeah, they'll watch. So my thing was somebody did a video on Six Flags. What was it? Atlantis, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
nobody else has done it, so let me do it. And I think I like it. I like what I did with it.
When you posted that, that was
Hmm.
my when you were like, "Oh, I knew he went to Reddit to find these obscure topics." That
Hmm.
was my moment for you. I'm
Nope.
like, "How did you learn about that? That is
Nope.
crazy. I've never
Me
heard
dig.
about that
Me
before."
digging. How did I was looking up something for a different video. Okay. I was looking up something for a different video. And then that popped up. It was just little like past Six Flags things that are that don't exist or something like that. And it said Six
Mhm.
Flags Atlantis. And I'm like, what is this? This can't be real. And then I looked it up and I'm like, Florida had a Six Flags theme park. This is huge. I was gonna clickbait kind of the title and be like Six Flags over Florida,
Uh,
because like I'm connection with over Georgia mostly. So I was like, no, but I thought it went well, and then I found that, and I thought it would be a quick video. It took a little bit longer. I got it up, but I was just trying to get something up because you know me and my schedule. I try and do like daily or 4 or 5 times a week
mhm.
videos, and I was just like, that'll be easy one. Let me just put that up and move on. And I just thought it would be easy topic, and I just kept digging and digging and found so many things and made the video happen. So that's how that happened.
No, that was a cool story.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
But we're getting close. We're getting close to wrapping up and getting on the
Oh,
ride. I'm super excited,
yeah.
but I have
Yeah,
to
if you
know
look above, there motorcycles revving above us. We're in the boarding station, about to get on Hagrid.
we're getting on Hagrid's. and fortunately, it's not a 13-hour queue.
Yeah.
Like I've been through on opening day. By the way, what is your longest wait time for a ride? You already know
So
mine. It was Hagrid's opening day, 13 hours, 11 minutes.
so you
Yes.
beat me by 10 hours. I haven't done that.
Man, I
Um,
feel so bad.
it was a really dumb decision during Fright Nights at Six Flags Over Georgia.
Mhm.
Decided to get in a full, like completely full, every
Don't do
switchback
it.
queue of
Oh.
Goliath. And just
Oh.
like, I'm just like, oh, this ride, it moves fast, so this could be like an hour, hour and a half. It was
Yeah.
3 hours. It was like 9 o'clock when we got in line, and then
But
11
you got
o'clock
a
when we
night
got off.
ride. Wow. You got a night ride though on Goliath, which that park's usually not open at night, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
For me,
I,
man, 3-hour wait nowadays after what I went through is nothing.
but you've been on a Goliath a
Yeah.
1,000 times. Would you wait 3 hours for Goliath today?
No.
Yeah.
Because like if I traveled somewhere, still probably no. But if it was an opening day of Goliath, yes.
That's true.
But
Would you have waited 3 hours for El Toro when you were at Great Adventure?
how long did I have? What they opened at 11 and closed at they closed kind of early. It was like 7.
That's eight
Mm,
hours. Three of your
mm.
8 hours.
Well, like in my vlog, I immediately ran back there, so it wouldn't have
Hmm.
been that long because
Oh,
that
that's
was the
true.
goal. It
That's
wouldn't have
true.
been that long for sure. But if it did happen, I knew I had another day,
Yeah.
which that another day really didn't end up happening because of the rain. Uh, would I do it? Yes, because I know that's the most popular ride, and
Yeah.
everything else wouldn't be as long. So yeah, I would do it. 3 hours is not
There you
that
go.
bad. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Have you
like to
been to
be
a closing day?
I have not. There hasn't really
Oh.
been anything that has closed that I could either get to
Hmm.
or what I think the one I wanted to be at last was what Vortex at
Oh, yeah, Kings Island.
yeah, Kings Island. But I followed that on social media, and that was like a really cool day from people's perspectives. But yeah, I haven't been to a closing day. I don't. No, I haven't. Because
Interesting.
most places that I know, like obviously Over George is our home park, they don't really announce it anymore. The last time they announced things was like the wheelie. Uh,
Cyclone.
oh, that's true. That's true. But that's true. I wasn't going to Six Flags at I was going to Six Flags, but I hadn't been in a couple of years at that point. So I didn't go. I didn't
Oh,
care.
okay. Yeah, I
I
gotcha.
didn't
I
care.
gotcha.
I was all Universal Studios again. Every year I have to make that trek to go out there.
You still make
Um,
that visit every year?
I do, but except obviously 2020 with the pandemic, I didn't. Um, but it started again in 2015. I took my wife for the first time because we went to Over Georgia together for the first time.
Uh-huh.
She grew up here, and then I was like, "You had fun. We had fun. That was amazing." You haven't seen anything yet. Then I was like, let's go to Universal. And she was in awe. Her favorite is Transformers. Just the immersion and just the rides in general was like Six Flags has nothing on this at all,
Hmm.
which is true. And then since
They're not
then,
trying to. It's
they're
a
not,
it's a
it's true.
different.
Even though I really think they have something with Justice League Battle for Metropolis, I really
I,
think that is actually a really good ride and people need to, the queue says it all, but I think that's one of the better rides at that park.
I'm totally with you. It's like a mini Spider-Man or something. It's
So
not
true.
bad.
No,
For
it's
Six Flags
amazing for
Dark
Six
Ride,
Flags Parks. It's incredible.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
really
it's a
good.
must do. And it brings me back, which I'm sure you had that feeling. It brings me back to that like we're back at home at the Universals. Like we have this is here at Six Flags. Then you leave and you're like, wow, that was amazing. They do need to just put in sync, make sure it's in sync with the screen and it's not too blurry, but hey, that's a whole nother story. So 2015 did that. 2016 went again. 2017, 2018, 2019. I just did Hagrid's. The whole day was Hagrid's, waiting in that line. And then 2020, right. I didn't get to do it. And then I plan to be back. I'll be back in 2 months. Nice. Yeah, 2 months. Just a couple more questions, and we're about to, get on the ride, get on Hagrid's. So, what are some of your favorite creators out there? Your influences?
I mean, it's probably pretty obvious. My favorite one, if I had to subscribe to only one channel on YouTube, it'd be Defunctland.
Yes.
Is that what you're gonna say?
No, but I knew you were going to probably say that. Defunctland for sure, 100%.
Defunctland, yeah. I adore Alicia Stella's work.
Yes,
she is insanely reliable.
Yes,
like if you go watch her speculation videos and rumor videos from 3 years ago about Hagrid, she had the ride nailed down years before it opened.
She did. Very, very well done. I remember when I found her, it was like impressive to see her work. And then I'll be honest, I started kind of like, I can do this. And that same thing with Defunctland. I'm like, I love how so many people focus on Disney, but people weren't doing the stuff for Universal. So I'm like, we need more people to do this park that I love and cover it. And she was doing it, speculations and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then also, Rick's Flicks does Universal stuff and all that. So let's shout out to them for covering that. So it's like speculation and a sole focus on something that's not popular. Hey, I could do that with Six Flags because still nobody is doing this. People bash the park, but also there's so many people who love it. And it's their park down the street, whether it be over Georgia, St. Louis, Discovery Kingdom, all that stuff. It's all there. So that's why I shine light on it. And it's nice. But obviously I've started to expand as well. But yes, please keep continuing.
And then I'll just shout out some of the people who've really helped me, and I genuinely believe they have good content. Sorry if I miss anyone.
Yeah.
But, Adventures with Parker, he's on YouTube. He's been there with me since day one. He has his fun personality, talks about theme parks. You have Losh TV. I did a collaboration with him about the Psycho House, and then also talked about Halloween Horror Nights and Psycho. We have Park Twister, who does park vlogs down at Universal and does some other theme park content. The big one is A Life in the Parks. He, as the name suggests, he has spent his life in the parks and has filmed a lot of it and is now posting like pretty rare footage. Sometimes it's just like a ride POV in a specific moment of time. But a lot of times it's like he's the only one who got a certain angle of a certain one-time thing. And he posts really cool vintage footage. But other than that, that's what I like to watch on YouTube.
All right. I approve. I think all those channels are great. Especially, I'm a huge Defunctland fan as well. Defunctland was my start with like, I can do this. Like, this is so well done, and I love it so much. Let me give it a crack at it. And I think it's tremendous content, which is an understatement.
I've said this about Defunctland. Like, if the multiverse is real, we have the best version of Defunctland possible.
I agree.
The Kevin Perger on this planet Earth is a genius.
It's insane. Also,
if for some reason you're not watching it, you got to start from day one and just go for it. He's a great storyteller.
Yeah, he really is. Like, man, pacing and just comedy. The visuals, comedy. But it's not even like I'm laughing, but like, or he's laughing, but like, it's I can't even describe.
It's subtle.
It's so subtle. It's so weird, but it's amazing. And then what I found out, like he put out on Twitter, like some behind the scenes stuff as far as the financial aspect he puts into the channel and the videos, the individual each videos. I'm like, you're dropping $1,000 on that video?
high quality stuff.
$1,000, like that is like beast mode right there. That you're making that back and tremendously, which he is.
Well, and he's putting it into it. He's like, I want to tell this story in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I have to invest to be able to do that. And I
it
really
works
appreciate
out.
that.
Yeah,
And
it
for the
works
fans,
out.
it's great.
No, it is. It is. It really is great though. But yeah, those are all good inspirations. But I have to know as well, if you were going to start another YouTube channel, second one that has nothing to do with what you're doing now at all, what would it be about?
Oh man. So I've thought about the possibility of a second channel for like theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that allowed? No.
I
All right, it's
guess
not
because
allowed.
you
No.
don't vlog, you don't do anything besides like the documentary. So I guess it could be
No, I won't put that out there.
okay. All right. I usually tell people something that you're interested in that people may not know about, or they may, but something that I guess theme parks is in this genre. So no, you can't do it. So if you were going to start a different channel, what would it be about?
All right. Probably animation.
Hmm.
I really like the NBA, but a ton of people doing that. I really like animation.
Yeah.
Some shows. I think they're fun. The visuals are really cool. The art style, the
Yeah.
colors, the characters that people develop.
Mhm.
It's just really cool. If you look at it as a piece of art and not like, or just something that someone created, and
Yeah.
not just like a kids show. A lot of them are just, you could shrug them off as kids shows. That's what they are. But a lot of them are really cool
Yeah.
visually and story wise.
Okay. Well, that's different. And I like that answer. That one, and you came up with that one quicker than your favorite ride that we're about to get on. So I approve. I appreciate that. So, lastly, what is your favorite food to eat at a theme park when you go? And what is that place? What is the location?
I'm not a huge foodie. I'm like the cheap guy who will eat outside the park.
Same,
And,
but
okay.
I do enjoy the theme park food from if it's good, like Disney, Universal really does it. But what is your go-to?
Oh, okay. This is not a go-to, but I just really want to tell this story.
Okay, story
Sorry,
time.
Six Flags.
Yes.
I,
That's fine because Six Flags Over Georgia is your home park, so I guess we can aim that focus on at your home park. What is your place? Go ahead.
this is a one-time thing that happened.
Mhm.
Had the food credit or the food pass, whatever it's
Yes.
called,
Mhm.
where you could get a snack when you're at the park. And it was Christmas time. I was getting a red velvet funnel cake, which was
Nice.
good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Right.
It was really cold out too. We're
Yep.
waiting in line at the front of the park. When you go into the left, there's that funnel cake stand.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for my red velvet funnel cake. And to the right of me, as I'm standing in line, is a pink pile of vomit with a chair over it that someone who just ate their red velvet funnel cake
Yes.
decided to put, or well, they didn't decide.
Yeah.
They happened to not be able to hold it down, and
Mhm.
it was within 2 to 3 feet of the line of
Yeah.
people standing to get that
Yeah.
same exact food.
Right.
And Six Flags solution was to put a chair over it, not to clean it up, not to put cones around it or
Right.
something to absorb it like sawdust or whatever.
Correct. Correct.
I stood in line for probably 10 or 20 minutes with a chair next to me. I like funnel cake, is to answer the question.
So it all wrapped around the funnel cake. I agree. Okay. Did you try the Snickers funnel cake?
I did not know.
Okay. All right. Me neither, but I heard it's good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think that I don't know if that's a permanent thing. I know. Let me know in the comment section down below, good peoples. But I know they have it for sure for Fright Fest. So yeah, Halloween time. But last question for you, Matt. The train has arrived. I love this coaster, especially at nighttime. I love Hagrid's at night. It's just so tremendous. But I have to ask one more question. Where are we sitting?
For Hagrid, front row.
Yes, front row. Okay. I think that makes sense.
You could get the motorbike.
Okay. Oh, very
I'll put my
kind of
hands
you.
up in the sidecar.
I've actually never been in the sidecar, so
What?
why start now? So
You can put your hands up there, but if you're on the motorbike, you have to hold on and just like pretend you're
I
turning.
I think it's awesome, personally. I think it's amazing. But all right, cool. That works. But thank you so much, Matt of Storybook Amusement, for being a wonderful special guest in my duo, my partner in crime in this theme park documentary genre lane. So, guys, make sure you show Storybook Amusement all the love. His links will be in the description down below, and here on YouTube, it's on the screen. Mine is also Facebook as well. Storybook Amusement, but it's all there. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new to my channel, his channel. Also follow on all the audio platforms. Head over to YouTube, check out great content over here as well. But thank you, Matt, so much for being a guest. We're definitely going to eventually link up at a park together and do more collaborations. What do you say?
For sure, man. Thanks for the conversation. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it's been a pleasure.
Sorry to get on Six Flags a little bit. I love Six Flags.
It's okay. They love you too. They love you too.
Good rides.
Yes, it is really great rides. Thank you guys so much. And with that being said, that'll do it for us in the queue. Take care, guys.
See ya.